Hello children, welcome to the video session on topographical survey sheets. I am Veena Bhargav, author of the textbook of ICSE Geography Part 2 for Class 10 published by Goel Brothers Prakashan. This video session is based on the same book. This presentation is meant for the students appearing for ICSE board examination of geography. The objective of this video is to familiarize the students with survey sheets at their convenience and provide necessary guidance and help for self-assessment through online practice in TopoSheet and map skills. This video session consists of three parts. The first part consists of an introduction and uses of topographical survey sheets, importance of colors in topographical maps, and significance of conventional signs and symbols. The second part is based on identification of survey sheets, reading the grid reference, scale, area, representation of relief, directions, and measuring distance. The third part consists of drainage patterns, river features, man-made and natural features, land use, means of transport and communication, settlements, and inferic occupations. Now let's come back to the topic. What is meant by topographical survey sheets? The first topographical survey sheet was made by Major General William Roy in Britain in 1765. In India, Survey of India was established by British in 1767. Major James Raynell was the first Survey General of India. What are the uses of topographical survey sheets? The survey sheets are mostly used by Army to locate the places, because if we know the easting and northing or latitude or longitude of the topographical survey sheet, we can locate the exact position of a place, which is very useful for the Army. Secondly, they are very useful for the town planners because they have to plan the projects according to the topographical survey sheets. They know where are the roads and the transport and the general layout of the city. So accordingly, the tourist maps are prepared. Tourist department also uses the topographical survey sheets for bringing out the layout of the city. That gives us a location of the monuments and the guidance for the tourists. This is very important for the tourist department. Only thing is that in the tourist maps, these maps are not drawn by scale or drawn as per the scale. Topographical survey sheets are very useful for the industrialists. They have to find a proper location for establishing their industry. Topographical survey sheets are also used by geographers and students because all the research projects of the areas are based on the topographical survey. Students study the topographical sheets because this topic is a compulsory subject in their board paper. It carries 20 marks. Now, have you ever seen a survey sheet in black and white? No, because the colors are most important in a survey sheet. The yellow, for example, yellow shows the cultivable land, yellow in the survey sheet. Green signifies the forest areas. Now, they are also known as yellow wash and green wash in the questions that would be asked in your board exam. White signifies the uncultivable land. Uncultivable land means it is rocky, it is not fit for cultivation. You will not find any sign of water, and it is simply not possible to carry on cultivation in such areas. The blue signifies the water. You can see a thin water channel in the river. Now, the wells and the artificial lake, all whichever is blue, it shows that the water body is perennial in nature. Perennial means that there is water throughout the year. The brown is for contours and contour heights. The brown color is used only for contour heights and contours, and it shows the elevation above sea level. The black, as you can see, all the dry streams and the dry ponds are shown in black. It shows the area receives seasonal rainfall. The red, as you can see, is for the settlements. The red means the permanent huts are either grouped together or scattered or in the clusters. These are signified or they are shown in red color. This shows the settlements. We'll be studying about the type of settlements later. Now, what is the significance of these colors, these colors in the topographical map? You see the various features, if they are shown in different color, it is very easy to pinpoint them, to study about them, and it also makes it attractive for the students. Now we come to the conventional signs and symbols. Now conventional signs and symbols are very important as far as the topo sheets are concerned, because they not only symbolize the features but also each and every symbol means that the area is explained separately in the topographical survey sheet. When you are studying a topographical survey sheet with the means of conventional signs and symbols, you can pick out the man-made and natural features which are shown clearly in different colors. Permanent huts are shown in red, temporary huts, types of settlements. We'll be studying it in detail in the next slide. The urban features, as you can see, are mostly given in red. The international boundaries, the state boundaries, undemarcated, and district boundaries are all given in black. They are shown in black color with different symbols. And roads and means of communication, you can see they are also shown by different symbols in every category. That is, metal road are shown as continuous double line, unmetal road in dash, the pack track is shown in single dotted line, cart track is shown as a single red line, and footpath is shown with a simple small dots. What is the significance of these transport and communication? You see, at times you get a question on what means of communication does the area shown in the map uses. So we can you have to name them, that what type of communication you can see on the map. Then in the railways, rarely you will see in the survey sheet the railway gauge, that is broad gauge, meter gauge, narrow gauge, and level crossing given in the survey sheet. River features are very important because most of the questions are based on the different features connected with the river. Now, suppose there is a dry river that is shown in black. The perennial type of river will be shown with water in it in blue. The disappearing streams occurs especially in the porous regions and in the dry regions, arid regions, where the water in the stream is evaporated before it meets the main river. You have these non-perennial streams which dry up in the summer and occur only in the rainy season. Confluence is where the tributary meets the main river, and meander generally is found in the plain area because the river, when it flows through a flat land, it forms the meander. The waterfalls you will see in the contours with the number 10R, 3R, which signifies the height or the elevation or the height of the waterfall in relative height of the waterfall. Suppose it is given 10R, it means the height of the waterfall is 10 meters. One feature, broken ground, is very important in this regard because it is generally formed in the dry region where the topsoil has been washed away due to floods, and generally land is uncultivable. It is bad land. Many questions often come on this broken ground. You have the drainage patterns. What do the drainage pattern means? You will see that the tributaries meet the main river in different patterns. When it meets the main river in the form of a branch of a tree, it is called dendritic. Then you have these trellis which meets at the right angle, and radial, which is a circular pattern. Then canals, tanks, dry tank, perennial line well, all these features are shown various symbols as you can see here. Especially the dry tank along with the embankment shows that it is speckled with black dots with embankment, which shows that the area is generally dry, or the area receives seasonal rainfall because the tank is dry. Generally, it is taken as one of the causes. The 4 are written here, it means the height of the tank is 4 meters. But if it is given within the tank, it may mean relative depth of the tank is 4 meters. Then you have these perennial line wells in blue. It shows that it is a bore in the ground, a pakka well lined with bricks and cement, which has water throughout the year. Perennial means the water throughout the year. Then you have unlined well, which is a dry well. And sometimes you see in the survey sheet, a well is given besides which brackish is given. Whenever the brackish is given beside the well, it means the well water is salty. It is not fit for drinking nor for irrigation. It is not used for cultivation. Then you have the tube well, for this symbol is this, and you have the spring, hot spring, cold spring, the same symbol is used. Then you have shoal and swamp with different conventional signs. The dams, earthen, masonry, ware, all these are shown by these symbols in different colors. Colors are very significant. These colors are used universally, so we cannot make any changes in the color in which the symbol is given. Now, causeway is another very important point, and you should not forget to learn the definition of causeway. Causeway is a raised platform across a minor stream or a road. You see, the causeway is very important in the manner because many questions are asked. Okay, give the distance between this causeway and this 4 grid reference to that causeway. So to know the distance between the two causeways, you should know that the causeway is where the road is crossing the main stream and not where it is written causeway. You should remember that because maximum mistakes are made by taking the distance from where it is written rather than where it is. So one should be very careful. Then you have the island you see in the river, main river. You will see sometimes white patches that shows the island. Island is a part of land surrounded on all sides by water. Uncultivable island is shown always in white, and it is just said when you are asked what is the white patch in the river, one can just say it is an island. Adequate and then reservoir. Reservoir, as in the tank we discussed, there is an embankment you can see in the artificial tank in which there is water, and it is a perennial tank, and the embankment is shown on the side. This is to allow the water to stay within the tank and not flow out. So that is why the embankment is formed. Now, some relief features you can see are shown with the particular symbol. A dot with 340 means this is the spot height, which means that this particular point on the survey sheet is 340 meters above sea level. There is triangulated height. It means that the survey was done by triangulation method, and this is surveyor's mark where the triangle is shown to show the method, and it is 200 meters above sea level. Approximate height is shown by this symbol and benchmark by BM. BM means benchmark. Beside that, the 62.3 is written, which shows that the height of that particular point is shown in meters. It is generally, you will see, it is surveyor's mark cut on a rock, stone, wall or a building, showing the height of that mark above sea level. Benchmark is the same. It is tertiary, and benchmark for the canal is shown in this dot with the height written in brown. That is the difference. BM, benchmark, and bench mark for the canal is always shown in brown. The relative height of the depth we just discussed, if it is given besides a sand dune, it shows the relative height of a sand dune is 12 meters. So the R is for the height between top and bottom. So whenever the question is asked, you must always remember to state that the relative height of the sand dune is 12 meters. Do not say just 12 meters. This is not done. Then you have the contours, are the most important aspect of the survey sheet because it shows the relief features. It shows the topography of the land. Contours are imaginary lines given in brown joining places of equal height above sea level. The distance between two contours is always 20 meters. We will be studying contours in the further slides in detail. Form lines are the broken lines which are drawn in place of contours for the area which is inaccessible, where we are unable to do the survey. We show them approximate height above sea level, and they join the places which we think would have approximate height, the same height above sea level. Then there is depression. It is often found in the sandy regions at the top of a mound or a dune where the wind easily blows the sand away, leaving a hollow. In fact, this is not at all difficult to find because DEP is written within that hollow in the survey sheet. It is printed as it is. Now we come to the vegetation. Vegetation on the survey sheet is always shown in green. As you can see, it is all grass is shown in green. All different kind of symbols are used for palmyra, for plantain, for coniferous tree, for bamboos. So generally they ask what kind of vegetation is found on the survey sheet. One thing that you will find in black, just written there, open scrub, which indicates desert or semi-desert conditions. It indicates the occupation of the area is sheep or goat rearing. It's because the bushes or the small kind of vegetation is found in the area. You don't find any tree. Also, this presence of open scrub also shows that the area may have seasonal rainfall. Very little rainfall is received in this area. So too much of open scrub, if it is found, one can say the area receives seasonal rainfall. Now you can see the different kind of vegetation shown in different symbols. Deciduous is shown in this manner, and dense jungle is written there. Then mostly the type of jungle found, open mixed jungle, is written there. So protected forest is written there, and these are the symbols. If you are asked a question, what type of jungle or forests are found in this area, you just have to show that what is written there, you have to reproduce there. You don't have to say deciduous or coniferous or tropical evergreen. It has nothing to do with the forest what you study in your textbook. It is just to identify what is written there. Then you have a survey tree. Survey tree is given in black. This is a surveyor's mark. Surveyor's mark, it shows in black, and if the height is given beside it, it means that that particular point is, this was 220 is written there with the dot. That means that particular point where survey tree is there is 220 meters above sea level. Now, sometimes you see these points, stony waste, sheet rock, rock outcrop, sand dunes. This rock outcrop is written there in the same wordings. Sheet rock is written there. What does it mean? You must remember to study this in detail, learn it by heart. The land which is mostly covered with rock boulders and where cultivation is not possible, it is shown as a white patch on the map. Generally, you will see this area is not cultivable. Sheet rock is the region which is covered by sheet of rock shown in white, it is also printed in the same manner. Then you see rock outcrop. There the subsoil is exposed, and you know subsoil is not fit for cultivation. Hence that is explained in this manner. But it's very easy to pick it out from there because it is printed in the same manner on the survey sheet. Then you have these, all the desert features on the survey sheet are shown in brown, speckled with brown dots. All the desert features like Seif dunes, Kirghizian dunes, or in general, the desert region is always shown in brown. On the survey sheet, if you see a stone quarry, kiln bricks, kiln lime, then it shows that you can infer the occupation by saying that people are working in stone quarry, people are working in brick kiln, or people are working in lime kiln. The telegraph line is generally shown with the square and a dot. Sometimes you can see these words on the survey sheet as they are given. So you should know that they are just to be identified. Naka is an outpost where tax or toll is collected. Pyao is a place where drinking water is available. Viaduct is a bridge-like structure carrying railway or road. Shelving is sloping gradually with reference to banks of a river. Dungar means a hillock. Now, embankments we have already discussed. Embankment means that a bank or mound constructed along a tank or artificial lake to prevent flooding. It is also raised construction built to carry a level road or railway over the low-lying ground. Khera is a village, as you know, in the local language, but it is given there as Khera. Forest rest house is used for accommodation for officers on duty. Reserve forests are shown as RF on the map, but it should not be confused with representative fraction. Forests where tree felling is prohibited by the government, that is given as reserve forest.
The new survey sheets numbers G43S7 and G43S10 have some additional conventional signs and symbols as shown in the given sheet. It is important to study and familiarize yourselves to the new symbols along with their explanation or definition. These are based on the survey sheets given in your textbook by Goel Brothers Prakashan.